Tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your company, Forex Kings.
Sweet stuff. So I'm Jason Noah, age 24 this year. A little bit about myself is I was born in Kimberley. We moved to Pretoria when I was about 3 years old. Went to primary, high school, you know. And primary I was actually one of the smartest kids. High school turned me into a hustler, you know. You know when you have those two different types of field throughout high school and primary. And then finished that and took a gap year. Decided I wanted to be a pilot, but it never happened. And that's because, you know, I made a girl pregnant and my dad kicked me out of the house, so my life just went south.
Wow.
And for me, my receptionist now, as you see her there, she's the one that told me about Forex trading because I was looking for a job. And I wanted to go to the police. They didn't accept me there. They couldn't get any job at Pick and Pay whatsoever. So I turned into Forex trading because she told me, like, she's very old school, you know. And she didn't want that. So I must just look into it and see if it's something I'd be interested in doing. And I looked into it, and that's how I started my Forex trading journey. Ever since, you know, I had a couple of losses here and there, but it worked out eventually. And then when I started becoming profitable, that's how I started my company called Forex Kings. Okay. And that's where the journey started. So that's why Forex Kings actually turned 5 years in April this year.
Okay, so first of all, thanks for the openness and transparency. Yeah, that's some real talk there. But secondly, okay, so I talk to a lot of Forex traders. Find them pretty intimidating because their job looks pretty hard, you know. And so for someone who didn't actually intend to go out and do this, I mean, you initially wanted to be a pilot, and then that didn't quite work out.
Exactly.
You tried to apply to be a police officer, and then you have this where you're dealing with currencies, and you know that move by the minute, by the second, and then after you're trying to make profits from this thing. Pretty tough. So how did you get to a position whereby now you've got a company and you're profitable? I imagine that you had to do a bit of learning, no?
Definitely. So as I said, the worst part about me making this girl pregnant and everything that happened is I only found out when she was 6 months pregnant. You know, and I got kicked out, so I had 3 months, you know, to change my life around to make sure that when this child is born, this child is going to get what he needs. So the only thing for me when I started trading out, I wasn't trading to make 1,000 rand or 10,000 rand. I only started trading for 400 or 500 rand. So I can at least, you know, get pampers, milk, get the necessary things that need to be done. But in that process, I started enjoying it so much that it became something that I see myself doing in the future. And giving it all the dedication. Obviously, I didn't have money to fund my account because I didn't have a job, didn't have anything. And so I asked my mom to take a loan. She took 14,000 rand loan, which is $1,000 back then, because the rand was on 14 rand. Now we're on 16 or 17, so it's a bit terrible.
Yeah.
But you know, and I funded my trading account, almost lost half of it, took a break, and then I was like, you know what, I can't do this on my own. So I went for classes, paid for my first course, it didn't work out. Paid for my second course, and that's when the guy actually took me under his wing and showed me this is how you do it. And then fast forward, it took me about 3 months, and I think I made about 1.2 million in 3 months, and that was my biggest withdrawal. That was my first time ever seeing such amounts of money. And you know, it was all because also I just felt like I had to prove myself to my dad. Because my dad is very harsh. Not harsh, but he's strict. He's old school, you know. He's like, hey, if you do this, if you're going to make a girl pregnant, except your ADA side, you're going to go work.
You're a man now.
Yeah, exactly.
Man up, yeah.
If you could do that, so that means you're a man. So I had a point to prove. And when I came back home, you know, I came back in a A45 for the AMG, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, oh, are you selling drugs? Are you doing this? I'm like, no, this is what I'm doing. It's called Forex trading. I literally said all day and I look at the charts, and he couldn't understand still. It took a whole week for him to just understand what I am doing. But after that, you know, he accepted me with open arms, and he said, you did prove yourself, regardless of the situation. Now you're a man. And because of what you did, that actually helped you elevate your life.
Sure.
Because look at where you are now.
So in hindsight, that tough love...
Yeah, the tough love is needed. It's needed. You can't be too soft.
So how many currencies do you trade in?
So I only trade in dollars specifically, but you're actually able to trade in rand, the pound, you can trade in the Japanese yen, you can even trade in Bitcoin if you want to.
Do you want to at $20,000?
No,
do you want to
I've never even been into Bitcoin. I've always told people that's not my field. I won't step into that.
All right, okay. Now maybe you're saying that now. So I want to talk real talk with you because I'm sure that you would have monitored. You're a young enough guy to see all the guys that have been trending, the so-called Forex traders that have turned out to be largely dodgy and have lost people a lot of money. So made big promises about how you can get $1 million overnight, and people have believed them, and they've ended up losing quite a bit. So what do you say about that, and how are you doing things differently?
Okay, so now the main thing with people telling you're going to get $1 million overnight is because they want to trade for you. So they take your money, they will take maybe 100,000 a JV or 50,000 a JV and say, I can flip this for you in a month within $1 million. We all know, firstly, for you to even do that, you need an FSCA license.
Sure.
So you need to be accredited by the FSCA, and which most forex traders are not, because to be accredited by the FSCA, you need to be under a broker for at least a minimum of 3 years probably. So we all know from the get-go, if anyone approaches you that's a trader, that's well-known with any type of technique like that, it's a scam. And you should actually report it immediately, if anything. Because those are also the types of people that ruin the name in the industry. Because now, any person that hears Forex, this Forex, that you think scam, first thing. Because of your experience, because of what you've seen on the news, what you've seen in the newspapers. But end of the day, there's also young people in this industry that are actually really making a living out of this. Who actually want to pursue it and, want to change people's lives for good reason, for a better reason. And which is why we're also having this event, to actually show people that trading is real. You can actually trade. Come see how I trade. Come see how I make this money that I'm telling you that I'm making.
So y'all have a license?
Yeah, we have a license. Definitely.
Okay. Yes. Just had to double check. Let's talk about your event then, the NFP Friday live trading event. Tell us about that and who it's for.
Okay, so the NFP live trading event is basically on the 5th, which is this Friday. It happens once a month, the first Friday of every month. So it's basically news releases from America. It's a news event based on American news. But it's very important because this is the heaviest fundamental news you have for the whole month when it comes into forex trading and in our industry. So this news release includes reports of how many people lost their jobs, how many people were retrenched, how many people got new jobs, how many houses have been taken, off to auction, how many cars. So it's basically a news report of the whole country and how it's been doing for the past month. Now, this fundamental news comes out at 2:30 in our local time. Now, when that news comes out and you trading on that day, and for instance, you buy the dollar, and the news reading comes out that the NFP rolls was about 250,000 less jobs this month. That means you're going to lose money. So that depends on how much you're willing to lose. Because you have people on that day that lose about 60, 70,000, some 500,000, some, small amounts depending on what you have. But if you're making money also, you could be making big money. So it's a fundamental news release. And that's what it is.
You talking about non-farm payrolls?
Yes.
The jobs numbers?
Yes.
All right, okay, so it's a huge thing
in
your world.
It moves the market. You can probably move about 600 pips in an hour.
All right.
600 pips, that could be 600,000 with a standard lot.
So people want to find out more about this, where do they go?
They go to www.tradenfp.co.za and they can go check out the website there, book their seats, and, come see how we do it.
All right. I might pop in if time does allow me.
Yeah.
But Jason, thanks so much for joining us in studio today.
It's just a pleasure.
A pleasure. Cool. You know when they say NFP, I thought to myself, this is your